Hello, hi there. Welcome to another Love Tip Live. Today is Friday the 12th of July 2019, 10 a.m. here in the Philippines. It's the night before right now in New York. It's 10 p.m., the 11th of July on a Thursday night. I hope you're having a wonderful day or you had a wonderful day. We're here every day, Monday through Saturday. Sunday, we do a Love Cast, where we speak a little bit longer about concepts about love, understanding of love in our lives, how to have more love in your life. The Love Tips Live, today we're going to talk specifically about the application of love to the topic of immigration. We've talked about immigration before. People going from one country to another country, people crossing borders, people fleeing from hardship, war-torn countries, they're seeking political asylum sometimes. Sometimes they are looking for just a place where they can raise money, where they can earn money for the family. And so trying to address the problem with immigration, really, when you fall back on love, when love is your center, it becomes extremely simple. Because what does love dictate? What does love say? If we believe in love, what are we going to do to people that are immigrants? How are we going to treat them? Well, we're going to treat them with respect. We're going to treat them with kindness. We're going to nurture them. We're going to empower them. We're not going to say, look, you don't have the right papers or you don't belong here, as if we own some place. Now, it's one thing if somebody wants to come into your house. It's one thing if they want to throw you out of their house, bulldoze the house down, and put somebody else there like they're doing in some places. Now, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about just people coming into another, defined as a country. So you get a gang of people, right? People with power, people with money. They say, we own this whole area. We own all the resources. Anybody who lives here, they've got to give us money. They've got to give us the money that they work hard to earn for themselves. We get a piece of the action. Oh, and by the way, if we want to go and fight and steal from something from another country, another place, you've got to help us, and you've got to risk it. We're not going to do it. We're sitting in our offices dictating what's going on, controlling the resources, and giving our families the best of anything that's available. But if we create a conflict unilaterally, if we decide we want to have a conflict with somebody else, you've got to take your kids and go to another place and murder innocent people or get murdered yourself. This is how a government works. This is how the U.S. works, especially. So they defined these lines. They drew these lines arbitrarily. It didn't matter who was living there at the time. They don't care. Every single treaty they made with the Native Americans, they broke the treaties. They aren't keeping any treaties at all. Why? Because they're not into keeping treaties. They're not into keeping promises and caring about individual people. They don't care about that. So they make up ideas. They make up rules. Oh, yeah, by the way, you can't do this. Why? Because the law is designed to protect their interest and serve them, give them more power, give them more money, give them more ability. Once you have enough money, then it's about power. It's about manipulating, using that money as one of the many resources. You use money, you use guns, you use ignorance, you use the media, the press, to control your power and to follow through on your agenda. Immigration is one of the victims of the corrupt power of sociopaths, of people who, the reason I say sociopath is because they don't care about the welfare of individuals, they care about the welfare of themselves. So if they're caring about the welfare only of themselves, that means everybody else has to sacrifice. And what a politician does that serves these interests, they are diplomats that manipulate and twist the language so that the common man, in his ignorance, will believe whatever they say. Because people look about this deep, people study about this much. Most Americans spend a whole hell of a lot more time knowing the sports scores of their famous athletes than they do understanding where their tax dollars go or what the government is up to, or what happened on 9/11 or the murder of JFK. They think about this much about it, but they can recite the sports scores of their favorite basketball team. That's the state of most Americans. And that's why, the government can pretty much do anything they want to do. They can steal your money. They can invade other countries. They can make up arbitrary rules. Iran, a sovereign state, trying to send some oil to Syria, another sovereign state, they have no agreement, no understanding. They're completely independent, can do what they want with their oil and their resources. U.S. government, because they have the military power, they steal the boat. They just intercept it and take it. Immigration is just one more area where people in power are saying, wow, maybe that's gonna affect me personally in the long run. I don't want to allow that. And then most Americans, in their ignorance, give them that power. They obey. You've got the soldiers that obey. They're willingly deceived by some idea, some ideal that's absolute garbage about helping other people and spreading their, if you don't know by now, looking at the results of what America's military has done, or the police state for that matter, if you don't know by now the results, the fruits of their labor, you're not paying attention to anything at all. Because as a matter of fact, it's only serving a certain small group of people. And what's the linchpin that holds it all in place? What's the thing that makes it work for the common man? What you've got to do is turn them into slaves financially. It's like, how do you train a dog? How do you train any animal? You starve them so that little treat you've got in your pocket, for American citizens, it's money, it's a paycheck, which is paper, it's meaningless, it's worthless. But because they set up a system, so that means everything. So they starve you of every other opportunity. They even hold back on jobs. They say there's a shortage of jobs. There's nothing that you can do. You try to collect your own rainwater or grow your own vegetables, and that's against the law. You get thrown in jail for that. Try to generate your own electricity. People are put in jail for generating their own, by putting their own windmill on their own property. Because that would make you independent. That would take away some of their power. So what the police state does, what the government does, is they keep those treats in their pocket, and if you obey, you get a treat. You get a salary. You don't obey, you starve. You live on the street. And look at how many people are living on the street now. So immigration is a way to not love, but to keep power, not to empower, but to disempower, take away the power of other individuals. And once you see that balance of power changing, which is happening because people are becoming more and more informed, even your typical American religious fanatic, which most of them claim to believe in some form of religion that totally fogs their mind about what's really going on. It's a really great way to confuse somebody and to make them loyal to the government and make them not loyal to each other. Any love, any empowerment, any nurturing, any energy for that goes through this filter of this cult. And what it does is it stops them from supporting anybody. Okay, we're going to share our dogma and you can join and be part of our cult, but we're not going to really empower you in any real way. We're going to pray to God, whoever that is. And what's God going to do? Well, what is God doing now? Look at the state of the earth. Immigration is just a symptom of not how evil the government is, because there's always been sociopaths. There will always be sociopaths. But it's a symptom of the obedience and the lack of love in your common citizen. The common citizen who doesn't really pay attention to what real love is, they make up some other ridiculous idea. And this is something that's so completely self-evident. If you love somebody, you nurture them, you empower them, you want them to be stronger, you want them to be independent, you want to support them, you want to help them. You respect them as an equal, as an individual, as a potentially wonderful human being, as a potentially wonderful influence on the world. And if you're not loving, you're going to manipulate. You're going to make up all kinds of rules and laws and controls. No, you can't go here. No, you can't do that. And when you do that, I get something. I get to take some of that. And if you don't give me some, guess what? You go in jail because I've got guns and I can force you in a cage. Okay? It's allowed to happen. It's being allowed to happen because of the complacency, the ignorance, the lazy-mindedness, and just the bad luck of your average American citizen, because America should be an example of freedom, of enabling, empowering, nurturing individuals, but it's not. It's the opposite. America is a tool. The military is a tool, and it's being used by people that have not good intentions, that don't have love in their heart, that they are practicing toward others. And it's the complacency of your average American citizen that lets that happen. And I see a lot of people going nuts about politics. We'll talk about politics and what a ridiculous solution that is. What works is empowering individuals, not empowering your political leaders. They've already got all the power they need. Look at them. Look at their lives. They don't need power. Your neighbor, people on the street, people living under the viaduct, your local community, these are people that we should be empowering and nurturing, working together with, cooperating with. Not dividing based upon race, not dividing based upon what country they're from, what their ID says. But that's what immigration does. It says, I'm not going to respect you, I'm not going to help you, I'm not going to love you because of where you were born. Is that ridiculous or not? I don't think it gets any more ridiculous than that. Yet people by the millions are adamantly going along with this line. Oh yeah, but they don't do this and they don't do that, blah, 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 all this other stuff. They're human beings. Have some love, have some respect for them. And if you don't, you get the world we've got right now. And if you don't believe in love, what do you believe in? Politics? Race? Some cult? That's your alternative. If you don't believe in love, if you don't believe in respect, kindness, compassion, and nurturing. This is Matthew from Love Buddy with another love tip today, talking about immigration and the direct application of the concepts of love to immigration, which is just a symptom of a whole system that's not based on love. It's based on something else. And the more we know love and we practice love, what happens is these systems crumble, they fall down, they collapse, and love grows and love thrives. But that's up to each and every one of us as individuals. You don't do this through standing up on a mountain and shouting or having an army at your disposal. Love doesn't grow that way. Thanks so much for watching. We're here every day, Monday through Saturday, with a Love Tip live. Same time, same place. I love you. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.